Example 12 is a titration. It gives us an order to titrate drug G at 4 to 6 microgram per kilogram per minute to maintain a heart rate over 70. Drug G comes available in 250 milligrams in every 1 liter of D5W. And our patient weighs 75 kilograms. So 2 questions here. We've got to find the initial total dose that's going to be infused per minute. And then we got to figure out what kind of flow rate we should set for the infusion pump. Okay, so initial total dose that's going to be infused per minute. So we're trying to figure out how much medication that we're going to start with, right? Because let's go back and talk about the word titration. If you're going to titrate something, it means it's a flexible drug order. This is where they give you some freedom to work within a certain range. Okay, so start out with the lowest, the 4 microgram per kilogram per minute. Give the medication, see if it works. If it doesn't, bump it up to 5. If that doesn't work, then bump it up to 6. Once you get at 6 and it still doesn't work, you can't go any further. Okay, you got to go back and talk to the doctor again. But it does give you that flexibility to play around with it a little bit. That any of this is a good dose, but start with the lowest one. Okay. So initial total dose. So we need to figure out how much medication should be infused per minute. Okay, so there's the bottom half of our desired answer. We just got to figure out the top half of the desired answer. So per minute, we can do a divide by minute. But what are we going to stick on top? It's the initial total dose of medication. We got to figure out how much medication. Now, looks like they're talking about microgram, right? So there you go. There's our desired answer. How many micrograms should they get per minute? Now, again, we start with the lowest one first, and it looks like our 4 micrograms should happen per kilogram per minute. All right, so here we go. 4 micrograms needs to happen per kilogram per minute. So I've got the micrograms, I've got the minute of my desired answer, but I do need to get rid of kilograms. Now, they did tell us our patient weighs 75 kilograms, so that should get rid of kilograms for us. And we should get 300. Our 75 kilogram patient is going to get 300 micrograms every minute. Now, down the street, down the hallway, if you have let's say you have a 115 kilogram patient, they're not going to have the same initial dose. Yes, they'll start at 4 microgram per kilogram per minute, but it's not going to be the 300 microgram per minute like our 75 kilogram patient is. Okay, so this one is weight-based. Be careful with that. All right, so we got part A. The initial total dose to be infused per minute is 300 micrograms every minute. Now, part B wants to know what is the flow rate that we should set for the infusion pump. The infusion pump means that we need to find milliliter per hour. Well, we need some milliliters, right? They didn't tell us milliliters, but they did tell us 1 liter. Okay, so we're going to get to do a conversion there. And I'm going to go ahead and do that conversion in my head. If you wanted to write it out that there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter, and then we can say 1 liter is 250 milligrams. I'm going to go ahead and do that in my head. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. And we're going to use, or it's going to contain 250 milligrams of medication, right? Now, we need a milligram at the top over here, and hopefully with a time of some sort, because we do need to get back to hours. So I would not recommend that you go back up here to this part, because we've already done the math with that, right? We figured out that our 75 kilogram patient should be getting 300 micrograms per minute. So let's work with that, except milligrams, we need micrograms. So we need to do a conversion here. 1 milligram is 1,000 micrograms. And then we can pull in our 300 micrograms for every minute. Okay, so we did have to convert between milligrams and micrograms. Now, are we done? No. Milligrams cancel, micrograms cancel, but we have milliliter on top of minute, and we need milliliter on top of hour. So we are going to need that last conversion in there, that 60 minutes is going to take 1 hour. Okay, so now that should all work out. We can multiply the top, multiply the bottom, and divide. We should wind up with 72 milliliter per hour. So we set that up for our patient, that their IV pump is running at 72 milliliters per hour. Within that 72 milliliters of fluid, they're getting 300 micrograms of medication every minute, okay? Every minute they're getting that amount of drug. The rest of it's all just fluids, okay? Now, we set them up and we let it drip in them for a while, and then we check their heart rate, right? We want their heart rate to be over 70. If it's not, then that means our initial dose of 4 didn't work. We need to bump it up. So we do the math again, okay? Except this time we're working with a 5. So we run it again, 5 times 75. It's not going to give you 300. It's going to give you something a little bit more. And down here for milliliter per hour, a lot of that stays the same, except the 300 is going to change, right? Whatever you had previously up here in Part A will change down here as well. And that'll get you a new milliliter per hour. If that dose doesn't work, if it still doesn't give them a heart rate of over 70, and it's not going to be instantaneous, okay? You'll get into your nursing classes and figure out how long you have to wait, okay? But after that amount of time, if they still don't have a heart rate over 70, then you got to bump it up to 6 microgram per kilogram per minute, okay? So we do the math again and work with a 6 here. 6 micrograms times the 75 kilograms is going to get you a different number, which is going to replace the 300 down here, which is going to get you a new milliliter per hour.